Russia was fighting intense battles on Saturday against thousands of Ukrainian troops as deep as 20 kilometers inside the Kursk region. AP correspondent Lawrence Brooks has more.
Russia has announced what it's called a counter-terrorism operation after Ukraine's incursion into one of its border regions. Moscow hopes the move will increase security where Ukrainian forces caught Russian troops off guard and exposed its military vulnerabilities. The measures announced for the Kursk, Belgorod and Bryansk regions that border Ukraine will allow the government to relocate residents, control phone communications and take possession of vehicles. The Russian Defense Ministry says fighting continues and that the army has conducted airstrikes against Ukrainian forces. Ukraine's raid on Russia is the largest cross-border incursion of the war, and it's raised fears that fighting could spread well beyond Ukraine. I'm Lawrence Brooks.
Israel's military says an airstrike on a school in Gaza City was targeting Hamas and Islamic Jihad fighters, but Gaza authorities say the compound was housing displaced families and that over 100 have been killed. Reuters correspondent David Doyle reports.
Around 100 people died here, Gaza's Hamas-run government said on Saturday, in an Israeli strike. Mahmoud Basal, a spokesperson for Gaza's civil defense, said thousands of people displaced amid Israel's 10-month assault on the Palestinian enclave had been sheltering in the school compound.
The Israeli occupation forces hit people this morning at dawn when they were getting ready for the dawn prayers.
Israel's military said the death toll was inflated. It said around 20 Hamas and Islamic Jihad militants were operating at the site. Hamas said the strike was a horrific crime and a serious escalation, and that the dead did not include a single combatant.
Reuters correspondent David Doyle. You'll find expanded coverage of world news and events at voanews.com. This is VOA News. A regional turboprop plane fell into what aviation experts called a flat spin before crashing in a residential neighborhood near Sao Paulo in Brazil on Friday. AP correspondent Ben Thomas has more.
In Brazil, a passenger plane crashed into a residential neighborhood of Vinhedo, a city in São Paulo state Friday. The airline confirmed all 61 people aboard were killed. One woman who lives near the crash site told reporters there were no victims among the locals, though there was no official confirmation of that. Footage on Globo News showed the plane plunging in a flat spin. The airline says it was an ATR-72 twin-engine turboprop. The Secretary of Public Safety for São Paulo told reporters the plane's black box was recovered and vowed an investigation will determine what happened. It was the deadliest airline crash since January 2023, when 72 people died on board a Yeti Airlines plane in Nepal. I'm Ben Thomas.
Venezuela's Supreme Court on Saturday said that it had not received evidence from the opposition coalition in the disputed July 28th presidential elections and warned that its decision in determining the winner would be final. The South American nation's elections authority, which the opposition claims is loyal to President Nicolas Maduro, declared the leader had won re-election, while the opposition argues its candidate, Edmundo Gonzalez, won. Maduro appealed to the Supreme Court last week to verify the election results, leading the court to summon all candidates who had run. 911 calls made in May of 2022 during the Uvalde school shooting were released. 19 students and 2 educators were killed. AP correspondent Julie Walker has more.
Robb Elementary School student Chloe Torres, who survived the Uvalde shooting that killed 19 students and 2 educators, begs for police in a 911 call as she cowers in a classroom with others.
Please hurry. There's a lot of dead bodies.
Telling dispatch about the dead and injured.
And help. One of my teachers are still alive, but they're shot.
Meanwhile, the shooter's uncle, Armando Ramos, begs 911 to let him try to talk his nephew down.
He could listen to me because he does listen to me.
That call came in shortly after Salvador Ramos was killed in the 2022 school massacre. Police have been criticized for waiting more than 70 minutes before confronting him. The former police chief of the Uvalde School District and another former officer are the only 2 people charged. Both pled not guilty. I'm Julie Walker.
Indonesian officials visited the country's new capital, Nusantara, on Saturday to ensure the city was ready for its first cabinet meeting and upcoming 79th Independence Day. The deputy minister for Agrarian Affairs and Spatial Planning and the head of the city's task force made final checks on water supply and infrastructure ahead of the celebrations on August 17th. Carved out of the jungle on the tropical island of Borneo, the $32 billion infrastructure project is located about 1,200 kilometers from the current capital, Jakarta.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comment section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.